Just a quick little bit of trickery that you can do if you want to add images to your text and get them to look nice and have the text wrap around an image. Let me show you how you do that. I would use a text block. So we'll pick that and then we go into the editor. Just bear with me a minute, I'm just going to get some dummy text. Okay, let's just paste in that dummy text. So you can see we've got some dummy stuff going on. Let's say we wanted to put in an image at this point and then we'll get the text to wrap around it. So let's do add media. So obviously you can drag and drop stuff. We'll use my nice little picture here. Then the options you've got here are left, right and center. So the ones that we're interested in really are left and right. So let's move it right over to the right. And we'll leave it for the moment as full size, and we'll show you how to change that in a second. So that should have put an image, there we are. If you click on it again and click the edit, oh, by the way, you can change the alignment here, left and right. If you click edit, then we can come in here and we can pick a custom size. So if you want to make it smaller, I would typically do it here, put it in full size first. That's 260. And that's changed that. Now, the issue we now have is we want to make sure that things look okay. Now this one's a little bit of a cheat because it has white space around it. You can see there's white space. Let's just pick one that doesn't have white space. Let's just replace that image. Let's just get rid of it and we'll put another one in. The best thing to do with this, by the way, is always to click at the beginning of the paragraph. Let's find one that's a picture. Let's have a look. Okay, there's a little demo graphic. Let's just put that in. So we'll do it to the right. This has got a big one. So we definitely need to make this smaller. So let's do custom size and make it. I probably would have, knowing that I'm going to do it smaller, I probably would have picked one of those other smaller sizes to begin with. So I'm not shrinking down, because this doesn't actually change the image, it just reduces the display size. So if you picked a smaller one first, it would look better. Okay, so that's okay. Let's just have a look at what that looks like. Okay, so I'm just moving that around to see what happens. So there's some issues here, but there's generally some good amount of space around it. If you need to add space around it for any reason, let me show you how I would do that. Before I do that, I'm just going to save this away. Save and close it and just have a little look at it and see what it looks like. I've got a little trick going on there with the video background just to be annoying. Doesn't really work with here. Okay, so there's enough space now. That's probably because my setup already has some code in it. So let's just have a look at what we've got. So it's a line right, and I've got a line right which has a border at the bottom. It's also got a margin left attached to it. So this is just using Google Chrome, picking on the image, and you can see it's highlighted the image and it's telling me some of the cascading style sheet stuff that's going on. So that's already put an image, a margin left, and a bottom margin just to give it a little bit of space. In fact, we can kind of play around with it. So if those weren't there, so if we just make this 0, for example, you'll see that text has become quite close. Putting the 20 in has kind of disappeared it. So that should be there. If that's just come up as a consequence of you using a line left and a line right in the editor. If you're not getting that kind of space appearing, again, you might want to just play with the bottom. So that bottom, if you had longer text, let's make that 0. You can see there the text is going underneath it. If you're not getting that happen, then it may well be to do with the template that you've got. In which case, let me know which template it is. Give me a link, and I'll have a little play, see if I can figure out how to do it. But I mean, effectively, you should see when it highlights in Google Chrome when you inspect. So let's right-click and click Inspect. You should see it saying Align Right, and you should see these little bits of code. If you don't see those, you can add them in your custom CSS on that page. which you can find by, if you go back into the editor. That's just my custom, I've got a custom plugin that gives me some quick links. So if you go into page settings, I think it is, and pick other scripts, you can add a custom CSS, and you can add that similar kind of code that you saw there before into your page settings, and that should do the job. Hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea. If we just go in here and we flip it over, you'll see it's already, again, if I move that to the left, and you'll see that seems to have lost some of its settings. That's really nice. Thank you very much. Let's just do that again. Okay, let's back again. Let's just move that over to that side. They're out. Strange. Sometimes I find it does that. If we insert, you can see again it's been programmed to put some space around it. If you want a little bit more space, you could add that underneath. Do bear in mind that when you resize the screen, everything that you've kind of cunningly played out, if you go down to a mobile, these paragraphs are obviously going to be longer, shorter, so if you put a little bit of extra space underneath that, for example, to make that look a little bit more sensible, if you then shrink the screen size, all that nice little layout will go by the by. But that does give you an idea of how it should just work.